Hello again, boys and girls of YouTube. Thanks for your help with the fuel pump wiring stuff. I'm glad I was able to figure that out. The van, it runs, so maybe you can tell because it's not in its hostage place it's been this whole time for months and months. It's in a new spot. Do I have the keys? Fuel pump works and runs. Pretty stoked. I was thinking about it. I don't think I've moved this van since September, and it is almost March, so that's quite a while. I just washed it. It needed a bath. It was filthy. That'll be in a later video. This is just a little short thing I'm putting up. So it's cool because I got it out of its spot. You can kind of get a better look at the cut on the back here. Sorry about the wind. And the bumper, even though it's getting dark. How that came together. My tail lights, that reverse light's a little crooked. So is that one. But yeah, that's kind of the look I was going for. Next thing I need to do, it gets hot. I got up to about 230, and what I think it is that the thermostat's not opening. That lower hose where the thermostat was still cold, and I think there's air in the system. So I got to do some research and figure out how to get the air out of the system on these. I think that's common on these LS-based motors, but I'm not sure. You can see when I washed it, about half the leftover paint came off the hood. Future plans, guys. I got a lot more to do on this, obviously. Tons of stuff inside, exterior stuff. I'm going to modify this front bumper in the future. I don't know when exactly. We're going to make another winch mount up front here in the center. Same thing, receiver style hitch, so that winch can go front or rear. And then I want to lift the front. I have 2-inch spring spacers, or 2.5, I can't remember. Now, here's where maybe you guys can help me out, if any of you have any knowledge of this. I want to lift the front about 2 inches, and there's really no aftermarket support to lift these vans. There's one company called Weldtech. They have some real nice stuff, pretty expensive, kind of out of my range, and they use a spacer, a spring spacer, and then they also have a 3-inch lift spindle, which is pretty expensive, and I don't want to go that route. And I believe when you use that spindle, you have to go to a bigger wheel to clear the brake, because when you move basically the axle location, you move the wheel in relationship to the brake, so you need more clearance from the brake. And those brakes barely clear those wheels already. So if any of you guys know of a spring that works on the front of these, that's a 2003 Chevy Express. I know the 96 to 02 Chevy Express use a completely different front suspension. Those use the same front suspension as a 88 to 98 Chevy pickup. So parts are pretty easy to find for those. These vans, the 03 to whatever till now, appear to use a completely different suspension. I've looked at a few at the junkyard. I know the control arms are different. Now what I'm trying to figure out is the spring spacers I found are the same part number for a Chevy truck, like a 1500 or maybe a 2500, I don't remember, and this van. So that makes me wonder, does that mean the diameter of that spring is the same? If the diameter where the spacer goes is the same, and then the diameter at the other end of the spring is the same, and then I can get a taller spring for like a different application that fits, I would prefer that. Like a 2-inch lift spring on this van. Now, if you haven't watched my other videos, the reason I'm doing that is I have 33-inch tires on this van. I know it's hard to see, it's dark, sorry about that. There we go. So I want to get the front end up. If any of you guys have info, let me know. That's what's going on today. I just wanted to throw this up real quick, a little short video. I've been slacking on the videos. I've got a lot of editing to do and get caught up on. I've been working on this a bunch and not doing editing. So I gotta get going on that. The rear bumper, that's been finished for a while, and I have a video walking through that process. And then the tail lights, I don't think any of that stuff's out. I have I put a badass reverse light on the top up here too. That'll be coming up. Anyways, guys, we'll see you soon. Hui ho.